Hi, I'm Jason. I run our testing program for Shoplift Supply. The testing part I like. What I don't like is that a single test touches 4 different tools before it goes live: the planning spreadsheet, the theme, Shoplift, and Slack. It's the same work entered 4 times. So I'm connecting Shoplift's API to Claude. I have 2 things: an API key for my Shoplift settings and a link to Shoplift's API docs. I'm not going to pretend I know where an API key is supposed to live, so I just tell that to Claude. I start by telling Claude that I have a Shoplift API key and that I want to store it safely. Claude told me exactly where to put the key, set it up, and flag the thing I should know: that this key can create and launch tests in my store. Now that I'm set up, Claude can read and manage my testing program for me. Claude tells me everything I need to know, which I normally only find by logging in and clicking through each one. That's the setup, just a key and a link. This is our testing roadmap. 14 ideas in a spreadsheet. Some of them have been sitting here for 4 months. It's not because they're bad ideas, but it's because the ideas were already written down once, and building them out again in the dashboard is an afternoon that never gets scheduled. And that's the problem. It lives here instead of anywhere it can run. So I'm going to load this into Shoplift with the API. I told Claude to read the sheet and load my backlog into Shoplift. I read the sheet, mapped my columns onto the fields Shoplift actually uses, and created the tags that didn't exist yet before it needed them. 13 drafts created, nothing launched. And because it didn't understand some rows, it said so, instead of making something up. Everything came across in Shoplift: the priority, the hypothesis, impact and effort scores, as well as all the tags. My testing roadmap just stopped being a document that I maintain. It's now a queue that I actually work from. At the top of my list by impact is the social proof test on our product pages. It came in from the sheet as an idea, so it has a hypothesis and the scores, but it doesn't actually have the variant attached yet. So let's finish and get it live. I've just told Claude to build the rest of the test for me, and this is the part that I actually care about. It doesn't just fire it off. It shows me the whole test first: control, variant, goal, traffic split, and the hypothesis that came out of my sheet. And it's still a draft. And here it is in Shoplift, a fully configured draft, exactly the same as if I'd built it by hand, because it's the same test. It just came in through the API. I just told Claude to launch the test. It took about a minute, and I never retyped anything. The hypothesis that's been sitting in my spreadsheet for months is now running on my store. I just showed how easy it is to work my testing backlog from Claude. But what about one that isn't in the backlog at all? Our latest tote bag is going viral. This happened after we planned the quarter, so it's not in the roadmap I imported, and I want a proper landing page for it, which means the thing that I'd test doesn't exist yet. This is usually where an idea like this dies. I'd write a ticket, sits there unworked, and the opportunity is missed, because we're stuck using the page we already had. Claude has our theme files, and I've used Claude Design to design a new landing page for the tote. I can just copy the context from Claude Design into Claude, and it'll build the landing page for me. It took about 10 minutes to go from design to code to live page. And here's the live page on my store. It looks great. Now that I have a landing page for this product, I want to test it. Specifically, I want to see how it performs against the usual product page. That's how we'll take advantage of all the traffic that we're getting. Let's set up the test. We just went from idea to landing page to live test, all without leaving the conversation. That's the unlock. An experiment that didn't exist this morning is now running by lunch. Every Monday, I write a CRO update for my team. I pull numbers out of Shoplift, write up a summary, and post it in Slack. It's 45 minutes out of my morning to tell people something that should be readily available. So I'm going to tell Claude to do it for me. I'm telling Claude to set this up as a recurring scheduled task. So every Monday at 8 a.m., it pulls my active and recently completed Shoplift tests and posts a CRO program update to my CRO program channel. It runs on its own, hits the API, reads the results, and writes it up every Monday morning for the team to see. Here's a preview run, and this line is the one I didn't expect. The car chore test is 84% likely to win, which sounds like it's a green light. But it's only up 1% after 54,000 visitors, and it calls that a wash. It's not just reporting numbers, it's telling people what not to conclude from them. That's the part of these updates that actually take me time to write. It also caught that not one of the 15 drafts has a start date. Nothing was going to start on its own. I'd have found that Thursday, maybe. 45 minutes a week is about 39 hours a year. Those hours now go back into tests. It's September, and I'm planning out our tests for next quarter. But the hard part of testing was never set up. It was remembering to launch and end things. So I'm going to schedule my entire Q4 block of tests right now with Claude and the Shoplift API. I'm telling Claude that I want to create a URL redirect test for my Black Friday landing page, and I'm scheduling it to start and end automatically. I've also told it to end early if it reaches a conclusion before then. This test will sit as scheduled until the day comes, then start itself. There's nothing for me to remember. Now I'll tell Claude to do the same for my remaining BFCM tests. And that's why the tags mattered. I didn't have to list these 3 tests out. They came in from the sheet already, tagged for Black Friday, so I just asked for the tag. Now my entire Q4 calendar exists, scheduled and ready to go in Shoplift. That's a quarter of planning happening in one chat session. Last one. This is the part that changed how I plan. The value isn't the individual wins. It's the pattern across 90 days of results that nobody ever reads together. Here we can see that the 4 smallest changes we made all won, and every single one was on a product page. This matters because I've been saving the big builds for the big bets, but it turns out the small stuff is the engine. Now I'll have Claude take what we've learned and turn it into new hypotheses for next quarter. I'm telling Claude that each test needs a hypothesis, the page it runs on, the metric it moves, and impact and effort scores based on what similar tests actually returned. It'll also tag them the way we tag everything else, plus a Q1 hypotheses tag, and it'll set a priority on each. Then it'll create them as drafts, ranked, so I know what to run first. And here they are. 6 new tests in Shoplift, ranked by impact, and they come from things that we actually learned.